Hey, how you guys doing tonight? So I've got some interior things I'm working on. The dash pad is pretty bad shape, so I bought one of these Coverlay. It's plastic, but it's really formed nice to fit these dashes. So I'm using it to cover over the top of this dash pad. It was pretty rough shape, looked really ugly. So what I've done is hit all these areas that were cracked. These cracks were really sticking up, protruding out. So I hit them with the grinder and just kind of knocked them down, tried to get them all as flat as I could. I didn't want anything hindering that pad from, or that cover from sitting down flush on this pad. I went ahead and painted these black because they were kind of showing and they were really rough looking. So I'm just hoping that black just blends in with the ductwork. And I painted the perimeter of them, of this pad, with that saddle tan, just so anything that is showing, is exposed with that cover on it, will just kind of blend in. So it's pretty ugly. This is a cheap way to cover that up. These Coverlays are about $100. The new dash pads are, man, they're like $400. So I was just cheaping out, and it's a nice repair, nice fix. So this one here, they say to, basically we're just using clear silicone to glue it down. So we're gonna go around the whole perimeter. This is something I'm really worried about. Going around the whole perimeter of the pad, around all the openings, around this, all the way around the edges. We'll go completely around the ductwork, the vents, and probably clear around that. I don't think this is gonna move or flex at all, but it wouldn't hurt to have some silicone up there. But we'll get the whole perimeter of this, and we'll get it glued down. And I'm gonna do it with the pad off. I have it off right now, and I'm really concerned about getting these parts here. They're pretty flimsy, and I'm afraid if I just glue that, stick it on there, it's just gonna move around and not fit exactly where I want it. So with the pad off, I can set this on here and then use these little clamps to hold all those things together. I can just clamp this right to the pad, right where I need it. And I got the instructions here, actually, and it shows exactly how to glue it down. It's got some instructions on cleaning things up. I will wipe that down again. I wiped it down once before I touched up that paint. I'll wipe that down. I'll wipe the inside of this down, and then we'll start gluing it down. Here we go. Wish me luck. I'm gonna need it. So if you're wondering how good they look, I just threw it on here real quick. I haven't glued her down yet, but I shoved it on that old pad, just kind of rough. It's not down in place. The only thing that I was concerned with on this whole pad, I had them actually painted to match the pad color, but I could see it and it was just didn't look good. So I did them black, if you're wondering. Just hoping it would blend in better. But yeah, you can see why come up here a little bit. So you can see why I painted around the perimeter of the pad, because this will be exposed. And once I get this in place, nice, you're gonna be able to see that just a little bit there. I wanted that to match, just like I did here. Painted that inside, so if you could see down in behind the bezel, you won't see black or any funky colors. So this little part here that I'm worried about, I don't want to get too much of that silicone in there. I'm afraid if I do, it's gonna squish out all over everything. So I'm not sure exactly how much. I'm just gonna put a thin bead along there and hope it's enough and not too much. Gotta be a happy medium, right? Okay, so I wiped all that down. And I'll trim this tip off. I'm not going to do real big here at the beginning. Goodness, maybe I should have made that a little bigger. One of the reasons I'm worrying so much about squishing this out is I'm going to use these clamps to hold those down, which is going to squish it out even better. Dang it, I might be making a bigger mess here. Okay. Need more. It's making me tired squeezing this. Stuff is stinky. It smells. So I think there's a point where you can overdo it with silicone on this. You don't want it so much that it's squishing out everywhere where it's going to be visible, dripping off the corners and stuff like that. Boy, that stuff burn your nostril hairs right out. Last one I did, I had a hard time. I glued it all up and installed it in place. I couldn't get all the areas glued that I wanted, and when I set it in, it looked good, fit good, but I think because I didn't get all these areas sealed down around here like I'm doing right now, anyhow, sitting out in the sun, it would get warm and warp a little bit and distort the panel. As soon as it cooled, it was fine, but it wasn't glued evenly across, and I think that's why it was kind of puckering. So I'm trying really hard to get it good and even here, and I think that will help a lot. Does this say anything about yeah, sandpaper. Okay. Oh, it says using too much silicone can cause your new dash cover to warp. No closer than ½ inch from the edge. It says to use a pencil size bead, which is pretty close to what I did. This area here, I don't think that would be advisable just because I know it's going to squish out. Opening, speaker cuts, defrost vents. Do not put any silicone on the center of dash. None in here. Okay, that's probably where it caused it to warp then. Okay. Read the instructions. Okay, around the perimeter of everything. Okay. You can see the beads. All the way around everything. Do you see anything I missed? I didn't do the speaker because it's pretty solid. Got around everything here. Okay, now I'm ready to install this. Oh, that's lovely. Lovely. Okay. You can see what I was worried about here. Trying to make sure that stays where we want it. Oh, reading the instructions down here at the very bottom, it says leave everything in place for 8 hours or more to allow adhesive to set up properly. So that'd be perfect for morning. Okay, like I was showing you before, you really can't even tell where the Coverlay and the actual pad ends and begins. Right here is about the only place you can really tell there's something going on, and you have to look really close. You can see the cut just wasn't quite exactly perfect there. I don't know if I could roll that anymore. There, maybe. But I've got my clamp there to help hold all this in place. And maybe, yeah, it's not going to stay. Oh well. Anyhow, moving on. And these clamps are just really, I had to kind of watch to see. I had the clamp right here and this corner was sticking up, so I just moved the clamp out here to the end. And it's not going to take a lot of pressure, just pretty consistent. I put that stick in there to kind of span that because it almost seemed like it was trying to lift here in the middle, so that was helping. And I just barely had enough clamps to clamp it down all the way around here. And like I showed you before, you can kind of see where it's black. I had that painted this tan, and you could really see it. It just looked pretty rough. So that might just blend in when it's sitting up on the dash. So it's a little tight right here next to the seal. I'm hoping to pry that in there. There, I think we got it. Good as it's gonna go. Okay. Are you ready for this? Let's see if it fits good. Hopefully it does. Still need to get door panels and some of this other interior stuff in. I really, really like how it looks. Well, overall, I'm really pleased with this. It's a nice investment. And if you're on a budget, putting this cover on versus replacing that whole dash pad, this is a very affordable way to make that change, cleaning things up. I think those pads, they're starting around $400 for a replacement pad, depending on what you're looking at, what style you want. These Coverlays, this one here I got through LMC. The last one I got was actually a Coverlay brand. I don't remember where I picked it up. Anyhow, they're around $100, $109, something like that. So it's a lot cheaper and they look really, really good. And you saw how bad that pad was, so that original pad, that was just put it on there and it's instantly better. The install itself wasn't that difficult, especially if you already have the pad in place and you're just putting it on. It's pretty simple repair. Just follow the instructions, read through it, make sure you clean everything up nice. And it's well worth your effort. Anybody can do it, super simple. Anyhow, thanks for watching, thanks for following along. Appreciate you guys, your comments, and the fact that you are interested in what I'm doing. So thanks for watching, we'll catch up with you later, and have a great week.